Well. I'm sorry about that, guys. My induction. We'll get a new one. I think we've been having problems with it, so I'll get my team onto that straight away. Actually, I've been reminded. Oh, we are on it. Okay, thank you. I don't know. You can't teach these guys. Anyway, bank holiday Monday today, and gosh, bank holiday. Oh, just remember, another 6 months. It's Christmas time. All right, that's seven then. 7 months time, Christmas. Oh my God.
Do you love it? You count down the sleeps, Steve?
Well, no. I count down the minutes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I do not like Christmas at all. I don't like it.
Right.
I used to like it when I was younger. Used to get up and run down the stairs, and I could hear my mum and my dad arguing. Oh, what paper they're going to give them today, and what you're going to do, could all that. So. But I used to like it when I used to go to bed. I'd go downstairs with my sister and we open the presents and everything. And I remember taking her head off the doll and whatnot, fighting over an Action Man and stuff like that.
As you do, definitely.
Yes, memories. Yes. So, anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Please leave your comments in the right-hand column. And we got Beth. Hello, Beth.
Hey, Steve.
You all right?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am okay. I'm really good. I am okay. I'm really good. So, what have you got for us today then?
Well, I wanted to share something that I'm actually doing in my Bold Goals group. So I run this group for women of all ages, whether they work or don't work or whatever, but who are really busy and don't often have time to think about what they actually want to achieve just for themselves in life. So it's a little group that meets up once a month, and we do all sorts of exploring and things. We set goals and we support each other, and we're like an accountability group for that. So the one on Thursday, the session I'm holding this Thursday, is called Impact, and I just thought it'd be an interesting thing to share for all of us, actually, because it affects everyone, not just women. And essentially, I'm kind of using it in two different senses, the word impact. Okay, so it's largely about, what a crazy year it's been, what a devastating year it's been for a lot of people. It's more than a year, of course, and thinking about what positives we can take from it and where do we go from here, kind of thing. So in the first sense, just using impact as in what impact has COVID had on you. Right. I don't know about you, but, I've just kind of been, certainly since I think the November lockdown, I've just been kind of getting through, just trying to be okay, just stay calm, just get through it all. Some of us have been ill, obviously. Some of us have lost loved ones. Some of us have lost our livelihoods. It's been an absolutely tumultuous, very, very challenging time. And we've all lost our freedoms, necessarily for health and safety reasons, hopefully temporarily. But, there's a stress involved in suddenly being locked down, not being allowed to roam freely. And I think, we all need to just notice that's happened. And I think it's natural in times like this to sort of pull in our horns and just do what we can each day to get ourselves and our loved ones through, really. But it's important to reflect on this time, much though we want it to be over, much though we're all dying to move on, with summer coming and things opening up. With any negative experience, it's really important to learn something from it, see what it can teach us, because that way it's not been an entirely negative experience, because we've learned something that hopefully can benefit us on our onward journey, because we're always learning, we're always growing, we're always experiencing new things. So it's kind of asking ourselves things like, what's changed, how have we changed, what have we lost, what have we gained. Some questions might be, what's the impact of COVID been on my health, my relationships, my career, my living situation, things like that. I've actually got a little coaching tool that I use for all sorts of things. It's really good. It's called the Wheel of Life.
All right.
And it's basically just so anyone can just draw this on a piece of paper at home if they fancy doing it. But it's a great way of taking a snapshot of how your life is looking right now. So you can see it's just a wheel in 8 segments, and I've just kind of put like little titles that feel relevant. So physical environment, career, money, health, friends and family, significant other, personal growth, and fun and recreation. And then along, I'm doing everything backwards, so sorry, there we go. Along here, this is like 0 to 10. And what you're doing is you're rating each section of your life out of 10. So kind of just going with your gut and going, money. Okay, so in the context of COVID, where's my money situation now? Is it at an 8? Or is it at a 2 because I've lost my job or whatever? And you basically just draw a line, fill in one of these little dotted lines that represents, a 1 or a 2 or a 6 or whatever. And you just go around and you'll find, it's just a really useful visual thing, because you'll find that different areas of your life have been affected more or less, are better or not going so great. It can really help you get some clarity with your thinking and look at areas where you might want to make change, where you might want to do some work. So that's just a useful little tool anyone can use. So maybe, in the context of COVID, kind of, how is my physical environment right now, a year or so? Now I've had to be in my house all this time. Are there now myriad DIY projects that I want to do, or have I already done them and things, stuff like that. So just having a look and reflecting.
Can you do DIY?
Sorry?
Did I do
DIY? No, not really. I have to say, not top of my list. Yeah, I didn't do Joe Wicks. I didn't learn Portuguese. I didn't do any DIY. What about you, Steve? Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
We muddled through, and muddling through, a tumultuous time like this is pretty good going, I think, really.
My thing is, when you put shelves up, what I do, I'll just get some books and just hook them up like that. Easy done.
I can't see what you're doing, so I can only see me on the screen. But
yeah, I've got you on the screen because you were talking. So okay,
that's fine.
Carry on.
So that might be a good exercise to do. But as I say, what did COVID oblige you to embrace? What did it oblige you to let go of? For instance, have a think about that. For me, for instance, I was obliged to embrace Zoom working. I'd been, fannying about for ages, going, oh, should I see clients online or not? What would happen if I've got them in trance and the signal goes? What will I do? Kind of thing. But needs must. So I got on with it, and actually, it's worked out great, because now I've got clients in other areas of the world, like the US and things, whom I don't need to see in person. So that's been a really good thing. But I had to let go of networking in person, which I used to really love, and doing public speaking, which I absolutely loved. So I'm very grateful for this podcast, because it's lovely to be able to communicate meaningfully in a socially distanced way. So I really enjoy it. But so thinking about what you had to let go of, and I'll be honest, by the time they announced the November lockdown, I was really starting to flag in terms of my attitude to it all, in terms of staying positive and pushing forward with my goals and things. And I basically just gave myself permission to tick over until all of this is done with, until things open up again, because I could see my kids were struggling. I was starting to struggle. I was starting to get like lots of little low-level illnesses and things, which is always a sign that I'm getting a bit of stress going on and I need to just chill back. So what I've just been doing is just, as I say, ticking over with my business. I'm very grateful for all the clients I've got. I've not been doing a massive push to try and get more clients and things like that. I've just been making do, and that's had
ticking over, right?
Yeah, and I'm lucky to be able to do that. I have enough, so I'm lucky to be able to do that. Not everybody's that fortunate, but I'm just giving it as an example for the fact that it's been really tough. I think it's okay for all of us to admit that, and it's absolutely sensible to adjust the way we've been. But these questions of how it's gone, those of us with kids, we can maybe do a wheel of life with our kids, help them to process what's happened, help them to make sense of it, help them to learn from it. Because I have to say, in general, my two younger ones are 17 and 14, and I'm fascinated to find out, what impact they're going to make on the world because of this situation they've been through. One of them's been trying to do A levels in the middle of it, for instance. And when that generation takes power, I wonder how the world will look, because obviously in their short lives, if you think about even younger kids, they've probably forgotten how to do normal play dates. If they're sort of 3 or 4 years old, they've probably forgotten what life was like before. So an incredible impact on them. So that's definitely something we can be asking those questions of our kids and helping them to process and learn. So just some thoughts about that. And I guess the second sense I'm using impact in is that it does look like, fingers crossed, although there may or may not be another wave coming at some point, with all the vaccinations, we're possibly coming to an end. So what do we want to take forward? What new skills have we learned? What new realizations have we had? Like, if you look at your friends and family, for instance, there might be people that you thought you'd really miss, that you thought they might not be able to manage if you weren't there to care for them and be in contact in the way that you were. But actually you found that either you haven't missed them, or they can stand on their own 2 feet, that sort of thing. So sort of key relationships may have changed.
I miss my dad.
Yeah.
I miss seeing my dad. But I phone him up nearly every day when I can. So it's all kind of like good in there, because he used to come over and stay with us. And so yeah, but I miss some of my friends and stuff. But I think it's kind of like, it's really tough when you kind of like you're in the same household through lockdown, especially me, because when I had my art problems and stuff like that, it was like, oh, I've got to stay in. I've got to stay in. And I don't know how my wife, Michelle, put up with me. It's unbelievable, but she did. And the trouble is, I think it's like patience, isn't it? You just kind of like get on with it. And so now I just kind of like, what I do now, I just get on with it and just go out, and
absolutely.
And myself, this has happened, but
Yeah, so you're literally choosing to move forward in terms of exercising, getting out and about again, and that's really great, and you raise a really good point about relationships with the people that you lock down with. Family dynamics may well have changed, family relationships issues may have come up, or things may have really improved. So it might be this wheel of life thing and things. It might be an exercise you could do sort of with your partner as well, and sort of think, where do we want to go as a couple coming out of this? What have we learned? What new habits might we have started doing that we'd like to take forward? Because sometimes we have had to be resourceful, haven't we, in keeping connected with each other. We have had to be resourceful in keeping things romantic and keeping in touch with those we love, and obviously keeping our jobs going and our finances okay and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of that could be useful, could be something that we want to take forward. So it's thinking about those sorts of things. And then, as I say, in the second sense, is where do we go from here? What impact do we want to make on a post-COVID world? So asking ourselves like questions about, have our priorities changed from the sort of stuff we were thinking about, worrying about and doing a year or so ago? We may well find that we have a completely different focus now, a completely different hierarchy of what matters to us in life. We might have different values about things. We might have discovered, I think I think just people talking about COVID and whether to have the jab or not and all that, that's had an impact on people we know and things, have had interesting different views maybe on some things, all of this sort of stuff, it needs to be recognised, and we need to be empowered to make decisions about what skills, learnings, practices, routines, rituals, relationships we want to carry forward into this post-COVID world, and the way that we might want to do things differently and better. I mean, can you think of something that you've sort of started doing?
Yeah, I started doing this during COVID, you know.
Of course, yeah.
Last year, I've met you. I've met a lot of people. You know, so, you know, yeah, I kind of like, it's really helped, you know, through COVID, you know. It was only for like a group of us in July last year. It wasn't for everybody, and but now it's just gone really mad, you know. And but it works. Oh, I've got a message here from you know, Sirius asking you a question. Yeah.
Oh, I can see it. Yes. How did you make sure no one was left in a trance? Yeah. Yeah, basically, the thing is that the brain is incredibly suggestible. So I just had to adjust my script at the beginning. So I basically said, I basically say to clients, and as you go into trance, if you don't hear my voice, then you will come safely back into the room. Yeah, and it hasn't actually happened. It hasn't actually happened. I had one person, we had problems during timeline therapy, which isn't actually trance, but it's where we go back along someone's timeline and we allow them to release any negative emotions that keep cycling through their life, you know, like anger, fear, sadness, hurt, you know, that sort of thing. And there was a point where I couldn't quite hear what she was saying, but I was able to just sort of wait it out and just take her back a step and then go forward again. So that was okay.
Sorry, can I ask you a question about this? I'm
Sure.
I'm a bit of a skeptical person, right?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. With ghosts and about all these trances and stuff. Now, do they actually go into a trance?
Yeah, so if you're asking about trance, trance is just where, you know, when you're watching a really good TV program, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're in the story with the characters, and you know, with every moment, you know, your heart's beating faster, your kind of eyes are widening, you're completely involved, right? So you are somewhere else in your mind, right? But you're still sat on the sofa next to Michelle. Right, and that's all trance is it's just moving into a very focused state, right? Have you ever had it in the car where you've been driving along and you're suddenly at your destination, or you've suddenly maybe driven to the wrong place or your old address or whatever, and go, oh, what did I do that for? You know,
Look, Beth, I'm always in a trance.
Exactly. The thing is, it's a naturally occurring state, and I can't put anyone in a trance. Nobody can put anybody else in a trance, right? All I can do is speak in a sort of soft, whispery voice and invite someone to allow themselves to go into trance, so that some of the helpful suggestions I make to them can be presented straight to the unconscious mind. And the unconscious mind is totally free to go, no, don't like that idea. No, forget it. Because I'm reading the person's body language the whole time. And if their body language is resistant, then it's fine. We just come out of trance. And their unconscious mind, which is in control of the whole process, has decided, no, I don't think we're going there right now. And we just leave it for another time. And if the unconscious mind is fine, then, you know, they take themselves deeper into trance. They decide to adopt some of those suggestions, and then they therefore find the positive impact in their life. There's that word, impact, again. So yeah, it's nothing to do with ghosts. It's nothing to do with making you bark like a dog. It's just putting you in a slightly relaxed and focused state so that you can do some deeper work.
Right, okay.
And you put yourself there. Oh, thank you for your next comment, Sue. Yes, it's funny in one sense, but glad you can make self-rescue suggestions. Yeah, absolutely. Because as I say, it's the client that's in charge of the trance process, not me. So yeah, that's cool.
Right. So you know, what's his name? What that McKellen chap, when he goes go on stage and do these barking things and all that. Is that true or not?
Well, it's not about true or not. It's about what's comfortable for the person to do, right?
Right.
So, and also there's an awful lot of pre-suggestion. Like he did a documentary once about how he did one of his tricks where, he could get someone to write something really specific on a piece of paper and put it in an envelope,
Yeah,
and then he'd be miles away on stage and produce it. And basically what it was they'd actually work out the journey that person was going to take, right? And then they'd have like posters in tube stations and like leaflets handed to them in the streets. So really, this is really what they did. And this is where neuro-linguistic programming is really important, because it's the power of suggestion to the unconscious mind. So it kind of is all a trick in a way, right? But what he's doing is he's using the unconscious processes that go on in our brain all the time. Now he's using them for the purposes of entertainment, right? I help people work with their unconscious minds for the purposes of healing and feeling happier about their lives, letting go of trauma.
Okay. So can I ask you a question? You know, when someone's really, really in a trauma state,
Yeah.
they come to you. Let's work out a scenario. So someone's ringing you up, and they're running in a great big mess. My relationship is broke down. I feel like being suicidal, things like that, and they come to you for counselling, and they're really in a bad state. How do you usually trance then, or do you kind of use another therapy?
Okay, well, the first thing to say is that I have absolutely no medical or counselling training. So if somebody rang me up in a distraught state and was talking about suicide, I would immediately ask them to call the Samaritans and to get into a process with their GP to let their GP know. And somebody who I treat people who have anxiety, depression, anorexia, all diagnosable mental illnesses. But I make sure first that they're under the treatment of an NHS GP.
Right.
But certainly there are situations where somebody's become upset during a session, and we've discussed whether they would like to go into trance and look at that a bit more, right? Because what happens in trance is that often the person calms down a lot, because often the emotions are going on as kind of a flag, like there's a problem here, there's really something that we need to look at. Yeah. And when you go into trance, the unconscious mind opens up and allows the person to look at what the problem is. Right. So often what I find is that trance can be really useful. But I literally say to them, is it okay for you to let go of fear today and for you to be aware of it consciously? Right. And I watch their response. And sometimes they literally go like this, Steve, right? They go, yes. Right. So I can see they're saying yes. They're saying yes consciously, but they're unconsciously shaking their head. Right. So I can see that the unconscious mind is resisting, is saying, no, I don't want to do that. Do you see what I mean? So they might be saying yes to be polite to me, but I watch their body language. And if they're saying yes, or sometimes they might say something like, yes, I'm fine to talk about it. Right. And you can see their hand is over their mouth.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's literally their unconscious mind going, no, we're not talking about that. So I always look at that first. And so not just what they're saying, but what their body is saying. And then, I wouldn't proceed if they did something like that, because there is resistance there. But if they seem what we call congruous, so they're like, yes, gosh, yeah, I definitely want to get rid of this fear. I definitely want to get rid of this sadness. Then that's okay to proceed. And at any time, the unconscious mind, which is in charge of the process, so the client's in charge of the process, they can immediately go, no, bringing up resistance. The client usually says something like, oh, I don't know, I can't go any further, or oh, I can't see that picture anymore, or whatever. And then that's time to bring them safely out.
Right. Okay. Anything else?
Any other suggestions? Well, yeah. So I was just talking about, basically looking at how's it going to go for the next 6 to 12 months. Just thinking about that, as I say, consciously. And I would say that, for a lot of people that might be listening to me and going, don't be ridiculous, Beth. How can we make plans? Everything's just thrown up in the air all the time at the moment. It's constantly changing. It's just I've got no control over my life at all. Everything's, all these laws coming in and changes coming in. How on earth can I make plans? But the thing is that change happens all the time. And also, you can't control anything in the world. Stuff just happens. It's other people doing it, it's the weather, it's the government, it's whatever, right? But the one thing you can always control is your response, right? So in talking about this today, I'm inviting you to set an intention for how you would like this next 6 months to go, this next 12 months to go, what you would like to happen, okay? And make that plan, because then you're focused, then you know what you're doing, then you can start putting your positive energy into that. And you know what? Whatever will happen will happen. You may or may not get what you want. You may or may not be able to achieve a particular goal, right? So it's making a plan and then letting go of the outcome. And then that allows you to just move forward calmly. You know what you want, but who knows whether it's going to happen or not. But that's better than not having a plan at all. Just kind of drifting, just kind of, oh yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah, there's so many things I need to do, but God, where do you start? There's never going to be a time of certainty. There's never going to be a time where everything's fine. We say to ourselves like, once I've lost these £10, then I'll feel confident to go networking again. Once I've given up smoking, then I'll decorate my house. The ceilings won't be yellow anymore or whatever. There's never going to be a right or perfect time to do things. So it's best to just make a plan, keep it real. So obviously taking what we've learned about how the COVID world is, being realistic about it, setting ourselves some goals, just so we've got something to aim for, something to inspire us and motivate us to move us forward, and then just see how it goes. That's all any of us can do. And also remember to be kind to yourselves. We've all been through a lot. So for me, the next 6 months are just going to be about, I've got a house move to do, I've got a divorce to complete. I'm in a lovely relationship with this fabulous man, but we haven't really had a chance to sort of enjoy being together, because we got together sort of like 2 weeks before lockdown. The first lockdown was March. Yeah. So it's been very sort of hit and miss. So we're just sort of allowing ourselves 6 months to just enjoy being in love. It's so important, that key relationship.
I'm glad things are going all right now.
Say again?
I'm glad things are going okay for you now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and just reconnecting with friends and stuff like that. So I've set myself what I feel are really important goals, but not like massively big ones. I'm going to have to do the divorce. I'm going to have to do the house move. That's enough big stuff. So I'm still going to keep just chuntering along with my business. I'm not going to try and go big on that. As long as I'm helping people and serving people, that's fine right now. And I'm just going to concentrate on the most important things, which are the people in my life, So keep doing stuff like that, reaching out to people, looking after my kids, being with my partner, it's all good. What about you? How do you think? What do you want to do in the next 6 months, Steve?
I just want to continue helping people. That's what I
want.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, but firstly, we've got to kind of like help ourselves to help others.
True. Absolutely.
So you've got to help yourself too, and look after yourself. If we don't look after ourselves, we can't look after other people around us. So
you're absolutely right. So realistic goals and lots of self-compassion.
That's it. We've got to do it, haven't we? Here you go.
Oh, thank you, Sue. That's very kind of you.
Don't forget, Sue, we're going for a walk soon. The doggies.
Oh, that'll be nice. I hope it's not raining where you are. It's absolutely tipping down here in Manchester.
Yeah, it is. It's blowing to gale, yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Never mind.
Because we're down by the seafront, it's coming from the sea and everything. So.
Righty-ho.
Yeah, so the trouble is, so we can all set goals for the next 6-12 months. And I think it's really good to make a plan and kind of like, but we never know what's around the corner, do we?
Exactly.
We never know.
No, anything could happen at any time, but that's no reason in itself not to try and plan stuff.
No, yeah, and I totally agree. And it's really important. So you got your house now? Have you found a house to go to?
Yeah, there's many a slip twixt cup and lip, isn't there, with buying houses? But yeah, hopefully we found somewhere really nice near Altrincham. It'll be nice for the kids, nice for me. So yeah, hopefully that'll happen in the next couple of months. Just doing all the conveyancing and all that at the moment.
Oh no, that's really bad, isn't it? They all that. But
So far, it's all right.
all right, it's not going to fall through, is it?
Say again, sorry, you're a bit muffled.
I said it's not going to fall through, is it?
It may do, it may not. You see, there you go. I've made a plan and I've let go of the outcome. It'll either happen or it won't. But if it doesn't happen, something else will happen, and I'm sure that'll be fine.
I know someone's got some tents.
Hopefully, it's not going to get quite that bad.
No, you. Thank you. Sorry, I've got a bit of a sense of humour. Yes, sir, definitely, sir. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Beth. As always, lovely person. Don't forget, guys, in life, we all make plans. When we started, but make Beth and everything, we all make a plan every day. We kind of like lead a life that we don't know what's going to happen from day to day. But all I say to everybody is this: as long as you're happy, as long as you're content, and if you put a smile on somebody's face, then what else can you ask for? Just be kind and just show love and respect. And at the moment, we're going through a bad time. If somebody needs help, give them it. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful words. Thanks, Steve.
God bless. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks. There you go, guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to be back around about 8 o'clock tonight with a wonderful 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
I don't know.
No, I'm going to be back around about 8 o'clock tonight with the wonderful Susan Lee. Sorry, it's me. And that's going to be really interesting too. And yeah, so there you go. Don't forget, guys, if you want to be on the show and you want to talk about either your testimony, about your Christian testimony, if you want to talk about just life, if you want to talk about any subject, if you were, what was your employment? Were you a teacher? Were you an ambulance driver? Did you work for the police force? Whatever. You're always welcome to come on here, because at the end of the day, it's just life, and that's what we want to do. We want to hear from all people from all walks of life, just to come on here and just kind of like have a chat. In the meantime, guys, take care, look after yourselves, and until around about 8 o'clock tonight, right? Take care. And remember, smile.